Good morning, KOTA territory. Welcome to another DIY Friday Delights. My name is Mimi Herrick, and today we are joined by the wonderful Brian Savage. Yay!
Hey, Mimi, how's it going? Thanks for having me here. This is great.
Yeah, thank you for waking up early this morning, getting here.
Definitely not a morning person, but you know, it's great to, I had to make an exception today, so.
Yeah, obviously. So today we are making some vision board collages, and we're starting here by taking 3 magazines that I had at home, and obviously all of them are Taylor Swift because I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. And we're taking a piece of paper, some stickers, some scrapbooking materials, Mod Podge, and these little sponges. And we're going to kind of start putting these things all together for a vision board. Brian, you can go ahead. I'll pass you this magazine here.
Great.
Start cutting them out. So for those who don't know, Brian is one of our reporters here. Brian, can you tell me a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so
you're everywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't say everywhere, but so what I do, you know, multimedia journalist. So I'll go out, go get some stories, you know, stories that really, I guess, have a large impact on the community. That's some of like my favorite ones to do. Go out, interview people, get some video footage to go with it. Yeah, I love shooting video. I think that just comes from having interest in film growing up. So always kind of a photogenic person, if you will, and love being behind the camera a lot. And
yeah, this job you definitely do get to get that hands-on experience.
For sure.
With the cameras and stuff. Can you tell me a little bit, do you have like a favorite story that you've ever done?
Favorite story that I've done? I know like that one fire that I did over in Phillip. I know that's kind of the top of my board, if you will, I would say.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, like, I remember when I got there, you know, I was kind of worried, like, on my way to the highway. I remember our news director at the time, she was like, oh, hey, here's this fire. You know, it was one of those days where I was struggling to get a story. As that happens, you know, on some days.
Oh, occasionally it is slow.
Every reporter has one of those days, you know. And, you know, it just so happened that a fire broke out in Phillip, and news reporter like, hey, rush out there, go drive like an hour and a half and get there. I was like, oh, okay, at least I have something. And then, you know, it turns out, you know, as I'm driving the highway and I'm getting closer and closer to Phillip, you know, I don't see any smoke or anything, so I'm starting to worry. It's like, oh, did I come out here for nothing? And then once I like come across this like hill over the horizon, all of a sudden I see this like big smoke plume. I was like, oh, we might have something here. And then I get there, it's like this structural fire, like this building's just on fire, right? It was this Dakota mill grain.
Yeah, that was a big story.
Yeah, it was interesting. Wasn't expecting my day to kind of unravel like that and go after a fire in the middle of the day. But yeah, it was really interesting, like what happened. So yeah,
that is definitely a crazy story. What would you say is the most challenging part of being a reporter?
One of the most challenging parts, I would say, you know, that's a good question. I think just having enough time to really verify your information. I think a good rule of thumb for like all reporters, especially they're starting, is kind of call up the people who you're interviewing, because usually like you take like a 10-minute or 20-minute soundbite, right? I'm sorry, 20-minute interview.
Yes.
And you have to like condense that into like a few like 15-second sound bites, right? You always want to confirm like, hey, is this what you're saying? Is this what you're trying to convey, right? In this story. So I think that's super important. And sometimes, you know, reporters may not always have that time, but you know, having that extra time to do that, I think goes a long way.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, you do a lot of other fun stuff outside of work. Can you tell us a little bit about what you like to do in your free time?
My free time, you know, I love going hiking. You know, Black Hills, no shortage of, you know, good hiking trails here. You know, you got Buzzard's Roost, which I didn't find all that challenging, but I know there's some really good ones around that Mount Rushmore area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, love going hiking. Getting good hiking, it's really good for the soul, you know. Helps like de-stress, especially with a stressful job.
Oh, totally.
As it is, you know, the news industry, as we all know. So
yes, that is definitely something we all have to figure out. What brings you peace?
That's really important. I was a big snowboarder growing up.
Okay.
So I love, you know, shredding the slopes a little bit.
Okay. You know? Do you get out to Terry Peak very often then?
Haven't hit up Terry Peak yet. I'm still waiting to do that. Probably ran out of time. I think they're closed, right, for the season?
Yeah, I do. Dang. I fear. I fear.
Wasn't quick enough. Yeah, I mean, that's a shame. But hoping to get out there one of these days. I mean, I know I've done a few stories with them and Laura DeRozier, their GM over there, so
Yeah,
marketing.
she is awesome.
She's pretty great.
So what are we working on here with this vision board? Can you tell me what's your vision coming together here?
My vision, so far, I have like Taylor Swift's face holding up some kind of award. I'm not sure what that is. One of her music awards.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
well, I think I got something here.
Okay. We're
Trying
collaging.
to put the pieces together, trying to challenge myself, you know.
Yes.
Trying to create a little jigsaw puzzle here, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff working here. I have this picture of her nails painted because my goal should be to paint my nails more because they look gross right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then I have her and Maddie Healy walking because I'm a huge 1975 fan as well, which is controversial, I know.
Say 1975 film?
Yeah, the 1975, like the band.
Never heard of them.
You've never heard of the 1975?
No.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, their lead singer dated Maddie Healy over the summer during the Eras tour, and it was like a huge moment. So I have that because love him and her. Then I have Phoebe Bridgers because I love her, and then I have Taylor Lautner because I love him. And I think for my vision board, the inspirational part of things here, I'm going to add some of these quotes that we have, these little cardboard quotes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of trying to map everything out on my page here today. So from what I hear, you used to be a bit of a theater kid.
Sure.
Can you tell me a little bit about that and why you liked it?
You know, the acting bug kind of hit me back when I was like, a little kid from diapers. I'd say when I was like probably, 3 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch like TMC, like this like Turner Movie Classics channel.
Mm-hmm.
That'd come on and show all these films from like the 50s and 60s. Like Bridge on a River Kwai or God, it's The Dirty Dozen, one of my favorite films.
Fun.
That's a great film.
So did you just start getting into community theater then, or what was the
I know
there?
I did that back in like college when I was going to University of Arizona in Tucson. Did that a lot, got involved in a lot of like these, short film, small budget type student films I used to do a lot. Yeah, it was fun getting involved with that. It's kind of like, some hobby that I took up, and ever since then, it's just really sprouted, and I just kind of love getting involved in acting and getting behind the camera, shooting some film, and being on the production side.
Yeah, if you were to do any job in the entire world that wasn't journalism, what would it be?
That's a good question. That wasn't
a really hard hitter.
Very hard hitting. Any job. Man. I mean, I don't know if I guess play-by-play announcing, I don't know if that technically it would be considered journalism.
Kind of, yeah, that's kind of sports, but it's different than what you do now, right?
Yeah,
it's different enough. I'll let it slide.
Right, yeah, I would definitely do play-by-play announcing, especially in the realm of European soccer, so I was a big European soccer guy.
You're a big soccer guy, okay.
Yeah. Played
That's kinda
soccer
fun.
growing up, so.
Soccer is definitely a really fun sport. So you mentioned that you played soccer growing up. Did you do any other sports along those lines?
Yeah, so played baseball. I was a big baseball guy.
Okay. Would you ever do play-by-play for baseball?
Baseball's really boring, though. That's the thing. I don't know if I'd want to do play-by-play for baseball. I feel like I'd make it even more boring,
I think it would be fun to do play-by-play for baseball. Don't count it out. All right,
Yeah, I mean, it depends if it's an exciting game, but there's like 162 games in the season, so it's kind of hard to wake up every day, call a game like you're in the middle of the season. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. So, can you tell me about one of your guilty pleasures? Like, what is something you enjoy that's kind of a secret?
I guess it's not much of a secret anymore. So I would say, gelato ice cream.
Ooh, that is a good one. What is your
favorite?
favorite?
The thing, Mimi, I'm not talking about those like American store brand gelato. I'm talking about like the real
deal
thing from like the motherland, okay? From like Italy, grandma's in the basement turning out some gelato, putting in some OT.
Okay.
I'm talking about the real
stuff.
The real stuff.
Right. So something that I clearly wouldn't understand.
I don't think so, no.
Have you ever been to Italy then?
I have. So my grandmother, my grandmother and my mom on my dad's side, She's from Bari, Italy, so it's just like small coastal town in, yeah, it's southern Italy.
Okay.
That you could find. I mean, if you guys ever go to Italy, that's definitely a cool spot to go to.
Does definitely sound like
definitely an underrated spot to visit in Italy. I know Rome and Milan tend to take the headlines there, and like great spots to visit in Italy. But Bari is definitely one of those kind of underrated gems.
Okay.
If you will.
I can kind of get behind that. So what would be your dream vacation then?
Dream vacation. So here's the thing. I grew up a big like Lord of the Rings fan, right?
Okay.
I'm kind of jealous of my friend that I knew back in college. So he's a reporter in Australia, and he ended up going to New Zealand. So anyone that follows Lord of the Rings, they know that's where they filmed a lot of the film locations for those films. I'd love to visit Hobbiton, the Hobbiton village. That would be amazing. That'd be a dream come true.
Okay.
And like all these different like set pieces that they had from those films. I mean, that'd be really cool.
That would be.
Go like the Mines of Moria, kind of like reenact some scenes. I think that'd be super
I just
cool.
totally fell off my chair trying to reach for the glue.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, while you guys are maybe following along at home with this craft, make sure that you're applying a generous amount of glue. You want all of this to be sealed and nice and good. Can you tell me a little bit about what we're looking at now for you, Brian?
What we're looking at, so yeah, I'm still trying to put this like Picasso masterpiece together.
Right. Yes, this is some crazy artistic
as we can all tell here. Go ahead, put this up for the camera here.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I got so far. Not great, but it's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress.
Trust the process. Trust the process.
All right, Brian, as we wrap up here kind of with DIY Friday Delights, is there anything else you want to talk about?
I guess kind of like a reason, I guess, why I got into journalism in the first place. It's kind of funny, like I always wanted to do something in sports broadcasting and everything. So I figured like, okay, I'll go into like the J school at Arizona and stuff. Always had like an interest as well as in like telling stories for the community, having an impact, and I guess like being kind of a voice for the voiceless, if you will, and keeping leaders accountable for all their actions, what they do. So I ended up doing that and had a good time at the J school over in Arizona, my old stomping ground. So yeah. And I ended up here. So good job over at KOTA.
Yeah, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
All right, Brian, well, thank you so much for waking up early for us here and joining me on DIY Friday Delights. Here's kind of the semi-finished product that I've got going. And
here's like my incomplete product that we got going here.
And as you can see here, I've got Matty Healy with a heart because I have a huge crush on him. And then I have the nails and all the things that I talked about. And then I added Make Today Count.
Yeah, I was never a big Taylor Swift fan, so this is kind of thanks and courtesy of Mimi just putting all these magazines.
These are the magazines I had. I asked you if you wanted any.
No, I know. I should have brought some like Sports Illustrated magazines or something. I think that would have played better in my favor here, but that's okay. That's fine.
All right. Well,
I could stick with Taylor Swift and all that stuff. That's fine.
Okay.
At least I got something to work with.
Thank you so much for joining me here for DIY Friday Delights. We'll see you right back here next Friday with some excitement with DIY painted tote bags. You won't want to miss it. Have a good one.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you.